Welcome to the quick hitter version of Dave's Front Office. I'm Dave Wohl. Our featured discussion this week is with Hall of Famer Jerry West, who shares his thoughts on Muhammad Ali, Rafer Johnson, Tommy Heinsohn, and Elgin Baylor. In 1960, you're in Rome, you win a gold medal. There were a lot of excellent athletes then, but two that jumped out. Rafer Johnson just passed away recently, and Muhammad Ali won gold there too. Do you have any memories of interacting with them or just watching them compete at the same time in their events?
Well, David, we stayed in the same village together. Okay, we didn't stay in hotel rooms. We stayed in Rome. We were in Rome, and it was really hot there and humid, no air conditioning. So I don't sleep very much anyway, and that was a problem. But you could hear Muhammad Ali. You could walk under this whole building. Okay, you could hear him chanting, and he always had a bunch of people with him, and very familiar with him. I got to know him a little bit, and of course, to see his life, and I've read so many books on him that, and I have great admiration for the courage he showed years ago and what he went through in his life. And then I do remember Rafer Johnson. Well, of course, he was a big favorite going over there, and he was as nice a person as you ever want to meet, as was Ali. But Rafer, I got to know him here in Los Angeles, and he was a marvelous human being. You can never find anything in his life that wasn't about excellence. He's one of those special people that we need more like him. And Ali was, as I say, I've read so many books on him that are really touching, and some of the things that he went through in his life, changing religions, the friends of his who didn't believe him, and obviously a lot of people in the country, some of the things they said about him, and to think that his courage made him one of the most iconic figures that the world has ever seen. He wasn't just an iconic figure in America, but throughout the world. Amazing person, and they will be sadly missed. But my hope is we'll see some people, and particularly minorities, come along and say, hey, look, this is who I want to emulate. I don't want to emulate anyone else but these two people because of what they've meant to not only me, but to the world. We need more people like this, classy people who are just great people.
Tommy Heinsohn passed away recently, and your careers overlapped a little bit, and Tommy was on the Victoria's playoff teams, the finals teams. Any memories of him both as a player, and then he obviously went on to be a successful coach? And I was fortunate. I was in Boston when he was doing the color, and Tommy was great to always go out and have lunch with because he had such great stories, but he also was a really smart guy in his observations about life and things like that. So I was just curious if you had any memories of interactions with him or just competing against his team.
Well, as I say, I always really respected Tommy. He really was a Celtic. I mean, nothing else mattered to his life than his association with the Celtics. And he was a coach, as he mentioned. He was very smart, great competitor, tough too. Really a tough guy too, by the way. And listening to him on the Boston Celtic broadcast, I used to laugh all the time. Oh my God. There was an official in the league that he liked because they were all against the poor Celtics, okay? And just knowing some of the things, but he paid me one time the greatest compliment ever, and I'm not going to bring it up, but he paid me one of the best compliments ever as a player, and I will be ever thankful that he said what he said, and I will keep that to myself. But people like that you miss, the long association with the Celtics. And having said that, the Celtics have always had this family-like atmosphere. They've relished all the players that have been there through thick or thin, and he was one of the most iconic ones, and he will be missed. And I will miss him on the telecast, particularly because I wanted to hear him say how the Celtics were getting screwed by the officials.
Your ex-teammate, Elgin Baylor, Elgin retired when I first came in the league. So as a kid, I had just seen him on tape. and he was phenomenal. He was like, I would try and go out in the driveway and even try some of the moves, and I couldn't do them. I don't know that he's gotten the reverence or the ability for people to recognize how good he was compared to like yourself or some of the others. And I'm not sure why. Do you have any thoughts on why not? Because his game was phenomenal. You could put him on the court right now and guys couldn't play him.
I can't believe that someone of his ability, but also the person he was. He's one of my favorite people. Forget how great he was at basketball, but this is truly a great person. I thank him to this day for allowing me to be in his world. I love that guy. I still love him. And the things that have happened to him in life don't seem to be fair. For some reason, he has not got his just due. He was just remarkable. The instincts he had, the ability to make shots off the board, his instincts to offensive rebound. He just an amazing player. But more importantly, he was an amazing person. I can't tell you, even today when I have a chance to see him, I always reminisce about watching him in practice, okay, when I was with his teammates. I learned so much from him, but also learned how you should conduct yourself in terms of interacting with people in the press. He was always so courteous and so nice, never braggadocious. And sometimes I've told him, I said, it's hard for me to believe that people don't recognize the greatness that you have. When I watch players today that couldn't carry his shoes, that have played in the past, he would have been able to play really great today. But he was one of those unique players that come along and that you admire. If you play with him, you respect. But the respect that other players had for him, he was a feared opponent. But that was only part of the story. The other part was what a great person he was.
If you'd like to hear more from Hall of Famer Jerry West, check out the full version of Dave's Front Office from Pure Hoops Media.